Hey, this is the Gang Breaks Kayfabe. I'm Cash. I got Draven, Jason, and Tim Vance with me as always. We're going to figure out the official name for Tim Vance at some point, which one we're going to stick with. Until then, it's Tim Vance.
I think it's fine, as is.
Okay. So this episode, we are going to do a Mount Rushmore episode, but it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to do 4 different Mount Rushmores, 4 different categories of them. We each have a category. And we're going to give our Mount Rushmore for that category, and then we're all going to argue and yell at each other about the original picks. So I'll go ahead and start. So mine, I got the Mount Rushmore of the best talkers in professional wrestling. And the reason I know this is going to get a lot of pushback and heat is because I'm not going with like The Rock's not going to be on my list because yes, The Rock is an amazing talker.
Shit.
He's just really good at talking. He's a politician. Same with Cena and Cody. They're very good at talking, but I just don't feel like they have the. My list are people that emotionally cut a promo and pull you in. So number 1 on my list is CM Punk. I go back to the promo in Ring of Honor when he was in the back covered in blood. I believe it was a feud with Raven, and he is just screaming at this promo, and Cabana and Daphne are with him, and they look kind of terrified and worried. It's still one of my favorite promos of all time. It was, I think, one of Punk's best promos ever, better than the pipe bomb, all of that. I just think CM Punk is very, very good at, he's definitely much better at talking than he is in the ring. I think he's really good in the ring, too. But his promos deliver almost every single time. They get to the point of the match and push that. He does have catchphrases now that he's in WWE, but before it was only I'm CM Punk, I'm straight edge, I'm better than that means I'm better than you. He has a lot more, but still, I think his are great. My number 2 on my Mount Rushmore, a lot for the same reasons, is Eddie Kingston. I think Eddie Kingston is one of the best promos in the business. He has been since he was in CZW and the Indies before that. His promos feel real and legit. I believe every single word Eddie Kingston says. I don't think he thinks wrestling is a work. He might even know what kayfabe is if he ever watches this podcast. It's all real to him still, damn it. And I've loved Eddie Kingston's promos for a long, long time. I think he's one of the best in the games. My third one, this one I think is going to really... So, I'm going to pick a 4 horsemen, and it's not going to be Ric Flair. Because my number 3 is a guy that didn't cut a lot of promos, but every promo he cut was one of my favorite promos, and that's Uncle Arn Anderson. There's one promo in particular where they're building up for some kind of multi-man match. I keep thinking it's with War Games, but I have searched high and low for War Games promos, and it's not one of them, so it's not War Games, I don't think. But he has this amazing line about how him and the other horsemen have already checked themselves into a hospital for the night, with reserved hospital beds for the night, because they know what's going to happen. They know what kind of a war they're about to get into. And then he delivers takes from the movie of, you put one of ours in the hospital, we put one of yours in a body bag. It's such a good promo, and all of his promos, I thought, were just excellent, right to the point. And then, of course, I've got a gun. He does the Frank Reynolds specialty. Just kind of cap off a career of amazing promos. And then last, I'm cheating here, but my last Mount Rushmore face is going to be half of one face, half of another. I'm going to combine Raven and Jake Roberts into one Mount Rushmore face. Jake Roberts was the first wrestler I ever saw cut a promo.
It's the Brett Stone Cold statue from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Just horrific. Jake Roberts is the first wrestler as a kid, he had a completely different promo style than everyone else in professional wrestling. He would whisper, talk low. Like, he wasn't one of these guys like Hogan and Ultimate Warrior just yelling nonsense. He would talk right to you. Like, you could like see in his eyes that he meant what he was saying. And then Raven, as I was doing backyarding, Tim will know this, like backyarding and all that, like Raven was my dude. Like, as soon as I saw ECW's Barely Legal pay-per-view, I fell in love with Raven. And I loved his promos in ECW, loved his promos in WCW. I think he had like one promo in WWF, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, I think Raven's one of the best talkers in the business as well. So CM Punk, Eddie Kingston, Arn Anderson, and Raven Roberts are my four.
Raven Roberts is a great name.
Yeah,
It is a good name.
that's my Mount Rushmore for promos. So let me have it. I'm sure everybody disagrees with at least 3 of those or 4 of them.
Yeah.
So if someone said, "Tell me Cole Cash's favorite promo guys of all time," if I sat down, I could come up with this list. So I'm not surprised by any of them. But like, I think I was kind of thinking of it as the best promos of all time, not my favorite.
Right.
And I feel like yours is definitely your favorite, but I think some people didn't get consideration because of your love for that style of promo.
Yeah. Well, because that style of promo to me stands out.
Right.
Like almost everyone can do the yelly promo, and then you got guys like Cena and The Rock who are just really. I mean, yeah. As far as like just a mainstream Mount Rushmore, Cena, Rock, Flair, and Punk would be like my mainstream 4. I don't know if anybody can touch those 4 guys.
Punk made both lists. Man, he's your George Washington.
I think Punk's amazing on the mic. Like,
when you started and said you were thinking outside the box, I thought you were gonna say like you're a big fan of like someone from New Japan or someone from AAA.
Well,
like I've been watching a lot of things with subtitles on lately, and you guys wouldn't believe
I am a really
the kind
big
of things
fan
that this guy is getting away with.
I am a really big fan of, and I think he deserves an honorable mention for this Mount Rushmore. The amazing worker that replied to the interviewer's question with "Yep," and I cannot remember his name.
Jeff Farmer?
Jeff Farmer.
Jeff Farmer.
He deserves a special recognition, I think.
Jumping, Jeff.
Yep. And then the amazing Tim Robinson parody sketch of that whole gimmick is just as good. But yeah, so I get what you're saying, Tim. I figured you could put together this list based on who I would pick.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston is confusing. Maybe again, I get the hype, but I can't like with the other people though. With Punk, with Arn, which I'm completely fine with. I think Arn's great on the mic. With Jake and with Raven, we can quote something that they have said specifically, but even with Eddie, it was just more of his style, like he doesn't know it's not real, as compared to any specific thing that he has said other than...
Eddie got the most cash points, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I know there's like, I don't know, there's just promos by him, like, in AEW, especially where he's like sitting at the bottom of the staircase and he's just, it feels like he's kind of confessing to something he's about to do. Like, there's just a way Eddie Kingston cuts promos where you feel like he might murder that, like, and then he's going to bring out a can of gasoline and try to set Daniel Bryan on fire. Brian is on fire.
Well, I'm not saying that Eddie's bad. Don't get me wrong. I think Eddie's a fantastic promo, one of the best in the business. But I think I would have him top 10 or 12.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm chiseling this Mount Rushmore. So.
No Piper on this list is crazy to me. Piper, I thought for sure would be on everyone's.
Piper, I would swap out. I'm swapping out Arn Anderson for Roddy Piper.
Yes.
Roddy Piper is taking Arn Anderson's spot. Yeah. Piper really does have
my spot, your spot.
Oh no.
Were you doing a bit there?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm really upset because Ravens got me thinking. Also, Macho Man Randy Savage,
That was the other one I was going to mention.
but he's not. He's close. He's very close.
No Dusty,
All right.
no Flair. Crazy.
Dusty was a strong decision to not put on there, but it was hard not to.
Next week's episode will be part 2, the redo of our top 4 on the Mount Rushmore.
I was gonna have another Mount Rushmore right next to the first one.
Yeah.
What's on the backside? What's on the backside?
Yeah. I guess the ones I picked are the ones that kind of shaped how I do promos, I guess, and like I learned from. So yeah. But all right. Well, up next we're gonna go to Jason, and he's gonna do his Mount Rushmore of the most important people in professional wrestling.
Jason, do you want me first or last on this Rushmore? I'm trying to get ready.
You're looking at us.
Oh, good
I'm
answer.
I'm all for mine. I just did Kid Inferno. And
Okay. El Tronco.
The guy that jobbed to Abyss, whatever. Or no, were you in
No, it was him.
Okay.
And the way that I like to think of his name is it's spelled Tim, but it's pronounced Vance. That's what I feel like. I feel like that's what that is. All right, so my top 4.
Wow.
Notes.
Look at that.
We blame
Plushies.
All right. Well, for my number, whatever order these are in, we'll say number 4. We spent way too long with this person last week, the week before last, so we don't need to go into much. But Hogan, definitely super important to the business. I mean, period. Across decades, across the rock and wrestling connection, the NWO, American Made, Mr. Patriots, all the things we got.
Here's me Hogan gimmicks.
His cornballer.
Mania.
Mr. Patriot.
All those things throughout all the years as far as in the business goes, again, that's where we're at. So I think that Hogan I think Hogan should definitely be on that Rushmore for that. I don't know he would be on a Rushmore for any number of other topics I could have had, though. So, so with this one I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with this one.
We just wanted the only man with black children to have to give Hogan props. You disgust me, Jason. Disgust me. Go on.
Now you sound like my children. I keep saying, it's Daddy. It's Daddy. Anyhow. All right. So, number 3, what some people view as the polar opposite as far as careers and where you may have lived in the country during certain times, would be Ric Flair, as far as the most important in the business. So, Flair started, we can do a full episode on him at some point, but even when I was just looking at just random things, some of this stuff I didn't really know, or if I did, I had forgotten. December of 72 is when he officially started. The retirement match was in 22, but then he still came back to AEW as recently as apparently this year. He was featured on TV, not wrestling, but it's still featured on TV. He was there for the Mongo tribute AEW did. So technically from 1972 till today, still pretty much out there, not only just in the business, which I'll go over some of these things that I didn't realize, but again, cultural impact. We can say Hogan brought everyone to wrestling, but how many rappers want to hang out with Ric Flair? The weed strain, the songs, it's literally about the Ric Flair drip. The swag that comes with the robes, the limousine riding, airplane flying, all those kind of things that I think made him more outside of the business to bring people into what is going on with this. Plus, he had Arn Anderson talking for him all the time. He never had a promo. So, throwback to you. So Flair started and went with the NWA, but then after he don't forget he broke his back like 2 years into his career. Right. He was at a county fair. He did a leg drop off the back of a. Oh wait, that was someone else. But then went to WWF, went back to NWA, WCW. I didn't realize he had a bunch of matches with All Japan and in New Japan at the Tokyo Dome for the world title for New Japan. He lost twice, but had a title for title NWA belt match for the New Japan title. Didn't realize that happened.
Does Jason look like he's on a green screen right at this moment?
Draven, put some cool stuff in behind you.
Right.
Yeah.
We can do that. We can do that. I'm gonna do a weather map later. He was in the 1991 G1 Climax tournament.
I didn't know that.
Was
Yeah.
that when he was in WWF?
So it was right before he got to WWF. So 91 to 93 was the first WWE run.
Okay.
So it was like right before that, I guess. He went to Japan and to gear up for the Royal Rumble match, I guess.
Well, 'cause I feel like that
he
Rumble had
won?
either New Japan guys or All Japan guys in it.
We did.
Yes, it did. So maybe they came on the plane with, but I didn't realize he was in the G1 Climax. So
Are you saying Ric Flair smuggled Japanese wrestlers into the country to perform at the Royal Rumble?
yes,
Okay.
and they climaxed.
That's just true.
So then back to WCW. Then he was with Ring of Honor in 2009 with a signed contract. That's the looks I was giving, right? Okay, good. I'm not the only one. It didn't look like he really worked anything other than just he was around.
Okay.
Then he went to TNA and was there for 3 years. Then back to WWE for the Evolution run. I'm sorry, that was after the Evolution run. My bad. I read it backwards. So then he came back to WWE and technically was on the roster from 2012 to 2021. Like, none of these years make sense in my head thinking back on how long it has been. And I know we were upstairs just watching Backlash 06 and 07, but still, all these things don't seem that long ago or seem really far away. But I just thought it was crazy that he was in all those different companies and then still went to AEW after that. So there wasn't a company that ever existed ever that Ric Flair was not an active participant in at some point.
Yeah, he headlined both Pro Wrestling Inception and Draven's promotion. I'm drawing a blank.
Keep going.
What?
This
Revenge?
Revenge Pro Wrestling. Yeah, he's been in all of them.
Yes. I saw him at Pro Wrestling Porpoise.
What?
Pro Wrestling Porpoise?
Yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Draven, your mic is real bad.
Your face is real bad. I don't.
Rude.
No, I mean, you're just cutting out. You're just cutting out.
So next, number 2.
Yeah.
Most important in the bit to the business. Vince
Number
McMahon.
3.
Huh? No, we're going backwards. Hogan
Flair. Yeah.
For life. Ric Flair was.
He's dead, so it means it's over. No more for life. It's over.
Once again, that bastard lied to us.
Yeah.
For life until the 10-year anniversary of Race Break is leaked.
Right. So, number 2 is Vince. Again, I don't know how many lists he'll go on, but so for those listening who don't, those listening who don't know, Vince purchased the WWWWF.
Yeah, close.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right. From his father for $1 million, and the idea that if he missed a payment, his dad would just get the company back.
Yeah.
Like, which
Good
is
deal.
crazy. Like, all right, I can figure this out. We'll get $1 million.
If you're Vince's dad, are you just trying to like wait for like one more payment to be due and then just like disappear and like disappear for like a month and then come back and be like, I never got it.
I never saw nothing. It's mine now.
Vince McMahon Sr. disappeared only when he was a kid, so he's done
Oh.
before.
And so then once he signed Hogan, that was in 82. He bought the company. 84 is when he signed Hogan, and apparently they made some money together.
$1 or $2 or 10.
Right. And now, apparently, hot and heavy rumors are: is he going to come back to see Cena one last time to give Cena his flowers? Because he really wasn't upset with how Hogan was treated that last time he was on TV. They shouldn't have just had him come out the entryway. That's not what you do to a superstar like that. How?
You want to make Hogan walk that whole way? Like, there's no way.
I'm just saying what he said. It wasn't fair for people to boo him then, but now not care and going to give him his flowers. Now I'm pretty sure people just don't care. The same people that were booing him still aren't giving him flowers. But so Vince, for everything he has done to give us all the memories, everything we've had for WWE, making that first initial purchase. All right. Number 1. Most important to the business. Ted Turner.
Okay.
Okay. So Ted Turner owned Georgia Championship Wrestling. And in 1972, they were the only national weekly show. They were on from 6 to 8. Then he wanted to change it to Turner Time, which is what they apparently initially called the 6:05 to 8:05 time slot, because he wanted to make sure that you were already on the show and then you wouldn't turn over and that the 8 o'clock shows would miss out on whatever their initial ratings would be because you weren't tuned into the competition's channel right at 8 when they would do the first quarter things. So in 76, they went national for the first time. That was the first on TBS, the Superstation, if you will. If you will. The mothership, if you will. And then in 82, Georgia Championship Wrestling, he renamed to WCW, but no one really knows about that because everyone just concentrates on the NWA during those years, because basically everyone that was in the NWA during those years ended up at WCW once it finally became what we really call WCW. At the same time, I didn't know what you were spelling there, and I got really nervous. It looked like Hogan on the side of a truck in the back. So Vince was wanting to go national also, and so he went to Turner and said, "Hey, I really want to buy your wrestling company," and he said, "No, kick rocks." So instead, Vince went and got a hold of the Briscoe brothers and Jim Barnett, who were the other 3 owners, convinced them to sell their share to him. So, in essence, what happened was the slot that had been for Georgia Championship, and that had moved to Southern Championship at that point. Everything says championship in wrestling in it. God, nothing is original. So Vince showed up. That was what's called Black Saturday on the 14th of July in '84, and WWE was basically going to take over. The WWF was going to take over that TBS time slot. Turner really did not like that. Being a wrestling fan, he turned around and bought Jim Crockett Promotions and in '88, and then rebranded it back to WCW. So that's where the WCW came from. From then, that we all pine for, with the Road Warriors and the Rock and Roll Express and Sting and Luger before the Nitro days. So he rebranded it and just kept pushing it on his channels that he owns with all the Turner channels. And then the Monday Night Wars happened in 95 to 2001. That's just pushed Vince to keep also moving on and keeping WWE going where it was. Of course, eventually Turner ended up selling everything. Time Warner merger, WCW went away, Vince bought it. But I think that if it wasn't for Ted Turner already being on national TV and having that contract, telling Vince to piss off after Vince had all these great ideas that he was going to do it his way, that WWE wouldn't have been able to do what they ended up doing because they didn't from the beginning have the original mind behind WCW pushing them. It wasn't just the Monday Night Wars. It actually had been going on since '82. And that's why I have Ted Turner as number one most important person to the wrestling business.
Well, it also would have been really interesting to see where WWE would be today if the Night Wars didn't force them to change the product. That new generation era was just not working.
The fucking worst.
Right. Everyone would be Duke the Dumpster Drosy today.
Yeah. I mean, they'd still be like in community centers. Or they'd be like in community centers and bingo halls, as the old saying goes, at this point. Well, two things about the Ric Flair one, real quick. One is, it's crazy to me that being in a plane crash and doing a leg drop off the back of a set of bleachers can both break your back. That just seems crazy. But then the Ring of Honor thing. So, yeah, he signed Ring of Honor and appeared at the Styling and Profiling event in March of 2009, clearing the ring after a Ring of Honor World Championship match ended with a run-in. So, old ass Ric Flair came in and just cleared the ring of all those Ring of Honor guys. And then, well, hold on, I got a special guest with us. This is Beatrice. Then he was the company's, nope, you gotta stay now. And then he was the company's ambassador and appeared on the television show to cement his role. Then he kind of announced a couple matches, and that was about it. Then he went on his tour with Hulkamania, where he jobbed to Hogan every show. So, yeah, not quite a huge Ring of Honor run for him.
But he still had a contract with him.
Yeah.
So.
Does your cat make too much noise? Did you invent kit mittens to get it under control? Well, this is the best place to advertise. The Gang Breaks Kayfabe podcast is actively looking for new sponsors. If you're interested, shoot us an email at thegangbreakskayfabe@gmail.com. Reach a wider audience and support a bunch of idiots.
All right. Well, up next, or no, so anybody got? I think Jason's. Those four have definitely shaped pro wrestling, I would say.
At first I thought Ted Turner, maybe somebody else. And when he started talking and I was trying to think of someone else, I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Nah, that person's not better. I go, okay, yeah, Ted Turner, you talked me into it.
I was going to say the same thing. I didn't see Turner being on that list, but once he laid out the reasons, I agree with him.
Yeah.
So I said there'd be one that was surprising. That's him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, up next is Tim Vance with the Mount Rushmore of the best in-ring workers in professional wrestling.
Well, as hard as it was to not put myself on this list, I figured besides myself, that's assumed.
Well, you're the mountain, and then the four faces are carved into you.
First of all, anytime someone refers to Mount Rushmore, I'm going to say, I am the mountain. That's
We're just saying that.
You want to talk about
Mount Rushmore?
You want to talk about the mountain, JR? I am the mountain. So anyway, I think my most controversial pick, we'll just get it out of the way, and it's a dual-faced one. A lot like yours, because these people, especially together, but is Chris Benoit. That's how you start a list right there.
Yeah.
And he said best in ring, not human beings. So I just want to stress that.
I mean,
And,
Hogan and Vince are on the list, so
and Kurt Angle.
okay.
So
Just they both wrestled that style basically, and were the best at it, intense. Especially Kurt Angle. I had him originally as my pick, and I was like, but I don't know if I should leave Benoit. But like Kurt Angle's ability to pick it up so quick, like, is incredible. As someone who's like trained wrestlers, and like that's incredible the amount of time he had in and was that good. But so, and then Benoit, just because he was like the path I always like a wrestler's path too. Like he worked, started out in Stampede, worked Japan, got to the United States, had to work his way up, and then become a heavyweight champ. Like, and all that work is consistent, all of it. Like from day one, he was just as good as he was till his last match, really. So, and then also like to not have a promo ability at all and to make it that far, you have to be a hell of a wrestler. Like, so.
I wouldn't have either one of these guys on mine. Neither one of them.
Wow. So Eddie Guerrero was considered for this spot too, but he didn't make it. He was an honorable mention. But Eddie was there too. And I was like, I can't do a three-face person, so that's too far. Too far for bending the rules. So then my next one is going to be what everybody knew was going to be on my list, and that is Shawn Michaels.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion, I'm going to contradict this in just a minute, but until I thought about this list all the way through for the last 2 decades, I would say, or almost 2 decades, the greatest wrestler to ever lace up a pair of boots is Shawn Michaels, for me. Like, he just is good at it all. Not good at it all. Spectacular at it all. All the things pro wrestling is involved in, he's a 9 or 10 at. So, but then I'm going to go, well, should I contradict this right away or just wait? Okay, we'll contradict it right away. And then, since he's a Shawn Michaels guy, and I think Bryan Danielson could be that guy now. When I go back and look at his body of work, when I was thinking about this list, I'm like, maybe it's Bryan Danielson at this point. Because, again, he was a guy from the beginning of his career. I watched a video today of King of the Indie tournament that was before Ring of Honor even started. And it had Bryan Danielson, it had like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Low-Ki, and this is before Ring of Honor existed.
I know the one you're talking about.
And Mike Modest, and I mean, it's a banger of a tournament. But Bryan Danielson Nick Bockwinkel was watching it because they had this Legends thing, and it was a 2-day tournament. So Nick Bockwinkel was there both days, and after Danielson tells the story in one of his books. But after the first day, Nick Bockwinkel went to the promoter and said, "That kid has to win this," and like put him over as like he's one of the best I've ever seen. Now this is Bryan Danielson before Ring of Honor. This is like in 2000. So like already, Nick Bockwinkel doesn't even like new wrestling. Was like this guy. So, and I just feel like anyone who's ever liked professional wrestling likes Bryan Danielson. There's people who still hate Shawn Michaels, but I don't know anyone who hates Bryan Danielson.
Was that show Heartland, or was it IWC?
Neither. It was at UPW, the Roland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. UPW.
Yeah.
Joe and Cena came from it.
Yep. Cena wasn't on that. He'd already got a developmental.
Yeah.
There was a narrator I didn't watch the whole tournament. I watched someone review the tournament and go over the matches or whatever. And he said Cena just got signed, and this was like 6 months after Beyond the Mat was filmed. So they were that's how they were able to get the kind of money to run this show, because his fed got popular from Beyond the Mat. But and then my last pick is another person in that same tournament, and that's AJ Styles. He can he can do everything. He can have a cinematic match with The Undertaker and then wrestle Low-Ki in a banger. And he can do it the same night. Like, he just... Like, and I never thought that. Even, like, back in the TNA days, I thought, this guy's great, but he's great at this. which I love. That's the style of wrestling I love. But I was like, I would worry if he went to WWE how it would work out. And man, it was great. Like he had that banger with John Cena. You know what I mean? He has the weirdest resume, but if you can't wrestle AJ Styles, you can't wrestle. Period.
Well, and then the matches he had in New Japan.
Mhm.
I mean, amazing. I would go.
Yeah.
So I would go with 3 of your 4 would be on mine. Sean, Bryan Danielson's at the top for me. He's the best worker of all time. But I would go Sean, Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles, and it might be recency bias, but Will Ospreay.
I considered it. I really did.
I think Will Ospreay is the best of like all of those guys in one package, and he can do more than any of them. He's the closest guy that can do what he did was AJ. I think. Like he's amazing.
Yeah, I like your list.
Yeah,
I would probably go with Cassius 4. But I was always a huge Benoit mark, and completely can do the separation of let's just look at the match and not think about what's happening outside of the ring in however many years, however many months from this match we're watching. So I completely get that. Angle was a surprise, I think, for me on your list.
Angle's amazing.
Oh no, I mean I'm not saying it, but I mean just in general with the rest of the list, I just took that as a surprise to him.
When Cash said recency, it might be recency bias. That's why I took Will Ospreay out. I was afraid that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'll say I would like Angle would definitely be my top 10. Danielson for me gets rid of Benoit because he is just as crisp, had the same road to everything, is intense as hell without the baggage and the awful murders.
I don't think so. Maybe it's just me romanticizing it in my brain, but I don't think anyone was as intense in the ring as Benoit. Not even Danielson.
I think he's close. I think. Yeah, I don't think you can match the intensity level of a murderer though. So
yeah, and it came out in his dress.
So to add to our people with back issues, so I think that when Sean came back after his back surgeries, that run is just as good as what the coked up version was before, and might not get talked about as much. And again, maybe not recent bias, but the fact that is the era that they've been playing a lot on the live Peacock WWE channel now. So I've been watching a lot of those matches recently. I'm like, damn, this guy can move for a guy that was hobbling around and probably should still be hobbling around during all that, even up through his stuff like Jericho and
Yeah, to me that run solidified him as one of the best of all time because it could have went the other direction big time when he came back from that kind of injury. Like he could have phoned a lot of stuff in.
I think someone knocked on my door. Sorry.
Oh,
surprise guest.
Keep the camera on so we can hear just in case they murder you.
Make him sign a release.
The match that was on last night, one of the matches last night was him and
my dog's just a psycho. Sorry.
Sean and Triple H in the cage, and Sean has his Dutch boy haircut, and Keisha was like, "What happened to his hair?" I'm like, "Yeah, when he came back, he had a thing going on with with the weird short haircut for a while in the
That's an
Philippines.
unfortunate thing to have on video. Yeah.
The other two,
wearing just like the brown on brown type.
The other two I would consider adding on there that would be in contention at least, Bret Hart and Randy Savage. I think they're both right up there with everybody else on the list.
Yeah, Bret's number 5 or 6 for me.
See, I consider Bret. I considered Savage. I really did because they were on my narrowing downs, but they just got cut in the.
Danielson really pushes a lot of people down past the top 4 for me, just because along those guys, anything they did, Danielson does better and can cut promos and has charisma. He's not amazing at promos. He's good. He's good enough. He's
He's good enough, yeah.
but has charisma. So yeah, like Danielson really pushes a lot of guys off a top list for me. All right. So last on the Mount Rushmore list is Draven with, huh?
And least.
It's Draven with the Mount Rushmore of the best bookers in professional wrestling.
Well, by pound, he is the least.
If Booker T doesn't make your list, then I'm just walking off now.
Yeah.
Save that for the last slot. Then.
I couldn't even think of another booker besides him, actually.
Four-time Mount Rushmore nominee.
So number one, the obvious choice, I would think everybody would put this at number one, Paul Heyman. His ECW run, he got more out of less than anyone else in the history of the business. Out of anyone in this entire business, he's the only one that made Shane Douglas interesting and was able to build around him and just incredible.
What are you gonna do?
Seriously, I thought Shane Douglas was one of the best wrestlers in the world when he was in ECW.
Right.
I did too. I was fooled.
I mean, he got a goddamn Al Snow world title main event in there. Like, that's a good booker if you can get that over. But then you factor in his later stuff too, taking over on SmackDown. That was really good, his first run there. And then all the stuff he's done with Lesnar and Reigns stories, like, there's no one that even comes close to him in my mind. Number two.
Yep.
Yeah.
This one's going to be era-specific, because the highs are highs, but the lows are really low, too. I'm going 1980s Vince McMahon.
Okay.
Just the run, Hogan getting the belt, going to the Andre feud, the Mega Powers exploding, all that shit was just fucking so well done back then. Everything logical and led to the right payoff, and then it started going downhill probably around 1990, so we're gonna... Next on the list, I don't know if this will raise some eyebrows. Number 3, Kevin Sullivan.
Okay.
Although I might not have thought of him for the list, but I can get it already, yeah.
So in the 70s and 80s, he's running different territories in Florida and Georgia, and they're all very successful. But what I'm giving him the credit for, he was the booker the only time anyone's ever beat Vince. He was the one booking WCW in 96 and 97 and 98 when it was so great. And he only had so much control over the stuff because Hogan had creative control and Bischoff is juggling all the egos. But he booked phenomenal shows. It was way better than what WWE was doing at the time. Up and down the card. Once you get past that Dungeon of Doom run that was mainly Hogan's fault.
What?
I thought there was going to be a little bit of pushback on that.
Hogan's got a pose, bro.
I want to see who your other ones are before I get mad about that one.
Number 4. This one's the one I don't know if I'm going to get anyone to agree with me on, but hear me out. Scott D'Amore.
Let me hear your reasons.
Yeah, I don't know.
The company stayed in business a long time with him in charge.
So
Tell us more.
He was the one booking TNA in their great run from like 06 to 08. That's the first getting on Spike TV. That's the time when they were doing the AJ, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe triple threat. Samoa Joe was an unstoppable force. He's the one that was booking there. And then the reason I'm giving him all this credit to put him in the 4th slot here, he took a fucking bottom of the barrel, gutter level TNA that nobody gave a shit about. And he brought it all the way back to where they have TV now. They're getting 100,000 viewers. They're a profitable company. They kicked him to the curb, but he's the one that should get all the success for that. Them being able to drag it from the gutter.
You're talking me into less, but I don't know. Dusty,
So I
like,
considered him like his peak in the '80s was fucking phenomenal for setting the business on fire, but it was like such a small stretch, and he never had any other success. His early '90s WCW stuff was fucking terrible. His TNA run when he was the booker there was fucking terrible. I don't think he had much to do with the booking of NXT. He was just there as like a helping guide the performers kind of person. So outside of like 85,
Yeah, I
88, what did he really do as a booker?
so was Triple H considered even for the Black and Gold NXT run?
Yeah, he was in contention for that last spot there. Not for the main roster.
Well, now he's really pissed.
It started
I
out
did not-
decent. I thought it was looking hopeful, and then
All right.
we're right back to the most stale product in wrestling right now.
I did not realize that D'Amore was the booker during the AJ Daniels Samoa Joe, like during that whole era. I just saw him as the manager for Team Canada.
Yeah, I mean,
so that makes it a lot more impressive knowing that now.
like I want to throw Gabe Sapolsky out there, but I don't know how much was Gabe and how much was just Ring of Honor
The talent doing themselves.
Yeah, I don't know how much creative freedom the talent had in storylines and stuff.
Gabe came to mind.
Jim Cornette.
I considered.
Jim Cornette was right there for me.
I have
Smoky
a whole
Mountain,
list of
man.
like 20 other people I considered here, but I'm looking at it now. No, I mean Gabe was on the list, but no, I don't. There's nobody.
Was Cornette?
So I'll read the other ones that I considered but ruled out for whatever reason. There's Watts, Fritz Von Erich, Vern Gagne, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Jerry Jarrett, Gabe Sapolsky, Jim Cornette, Dusty, Flair, Triple H, Tony Khan, Court Bauer, Jeff Jarrett, Eric Bischoff, and Vince Russo.
Damn, you really did think and get almost everybody I can think of.
Yeah.
No
I
Ed
think
Ferrara.
No,
I think Draven has got me with his 4. I think I would go with Draven's 4. Like Heyman, especially. Heyman's the guy that like.
Oh, yeah.
When I book, that's how I book. Like you cover the guy's weakness, highlight their strengths. You know, and you try to give them something that's going to be successful for them and make it work. Everybody doesn't ever always want to follow that, but yeah, I mean, Heyman was a genius at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good list. I didn't realize Scott D'Amore. I didn't realize he had that long of a booking run.
And and that's most definitely the only real time I cared about that company.
Yeah.
During that time period, the rest of the time it's it comes and goes and maybe, but when it seemed like must see weekly TV, that's when it would have been.
Yeah.
Because Dusty was the booker in like 03, 04, 05 ish, right?
Our host is taking a little break here.
I'll go ahead and name drop, see if I can make Cash cough. Yeah, Dusty was my booker when I was in TNA.
No?
You know, we went over some stuff, some ideas, and
Did your meeting with him go longer than the match?
no, I never actually got to be in the same room per se. They came and
my
said
bad.
from a piece of paper, okay, Dusty says you got 2 minutes, kill him and kill him. All right, goodbye.
Well, he got
Was
the most
that?
out of you
Am I
that
making it
angle,
up
kid.
or highlighted your strengths? When we were down there for that, am I making this up or was that when Macho Man showed up at TNA? Because didn't we see him like backstage, like
Well, he stayed in his limo almost the entire time, and I think when we went to leave the sound studio, me and you saw him. But whenever I was in Gorilla because I just done the Druid gimmick because I was under the hood for Raven and DDP and got to take a diamond cutter.
That's
So
when you were on the foot. Okay.
and so I just done that, and I was standing like in Gorilla, and Macho Man came in with like the Harris brothers as bodyguards, and stood there, and he did the "excuse me, young man," as I was like trying to get out of the way because it's like a very small area. And I was like, "Oh, holy shit, that's awesome," or whatever. But that's besides that, and him going back to the car when we were leaving, he stayed in his limo, dressed in his limo, because the soundstage has roads literally like inside the place you're at. So like they had cars in there. So he drove like there, changed with the Harris twins with him, and they walked him to Gorilla. Yeah, in the car. Walked him to Gorilla and then walked him back to his limo. Like it was weird.
Ooh, yeah, young man. Let me just get by. I got a hot dog sitting there.
And you looked at him and said, "What up, Mach?"
Well, there were so many people in that Gorilla, and I was like, if I looked around, I was for sure the least important. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like, because if someone's going to complain, it's going to be me they're going to complain about.
Well, I mean, I think mine got the most pushback. So.
I think so, yeah.
You know why? You didn't do nearly as good a job of selling your picks as the other three of us did.
Well, and also, I didn't go Triple H, Triple H, Triple H, and Triple H. Because I was like, no, that's my personal favorite, and I'm gonna try and keep some of my bias out the best I can. But Cash went full bias.
I thought we were doing our Mount Rushmore of the topic. I didn't realize it was like just in general mainstream Mount Rushmore.
Well, this will go to the Smithsonian for official suggestions, and now look what you've done.
I don't think Trump's going to allow this in the Smithsonian.
Oh, there's never been more of a chance of it getting in the Smithsonian.
Right, I'm talking. Look, my notes will be hanging up there. They talk about his buddy Vince, his buddy Hogan. Oh yeah, that will make it there.
Yeah, as long as you don't listen to the Hogan episode, we should be good. But also, you know, fuck Trump and fuck ICE. So hopefully we don't get in the Smithsonian now. So, well, all right. I'd say as far as the Mount Rushmore of the Gang Breaks Kayfabe, you're looking at it.
I don't know if I'm.
There we are.
Take me out and put my cat Beatrice back in for me. She's. But all right. Well,
her promo choices were better because they were none. There.
Well, meow 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 meow.
Please don't say when you meet.
What you don't know is those were my four. Oh, he left.
He left.
All right, said, I have no more time for this nonsense.
All right, well, now that he's gone, his was the worst. Let's all admit it. The worst.
Yeah. He put no time or effort into it. The three of us did research. We had lists. This guy
Mine literally took the last 10, 15 minutes before we jumped on here. No, mine was like done yesterday, but then I had to add to it on the fly. But
he's gonna be.
We gotta go.
I made all my notes.
The podcast, and he sees he's not on it. He's gonna be so mad.
Right. I made all my notes before anything kicked in because I was like, if I don't have this in front of me, there's no way I'm gonna remember these dates. And this is actually pretty damn interesting. I think.
Yeah, I learned a lot today. I learned a lot.
Yeah. And hopefully, so do you, our listener.
I think we've broken kayfabe enough. So go check out all of our socials. Like, subscribe, smash all those buttons. Smash every button you see from now on. And until next time, see y'all later.
Bye, all.